But then when I got the call from the Bush White House and they made me the offer, and she went ballistic when she found out about it because what she came to realize is that all of those agencies now had to report to me on how they were doing on EEO and civil rights. So when Clinton came in, of course, Clinton, I had to resign. So then I get a call from SBA, and they said, could you come up and again, it was a panel interview. And so then they asked me to come back up. Again, this is, the Democrats are in control, Clinton. The people at the interview really liked you, okay? He says, but how would I explain it? This is a political telling me, how would I explain you? In other words, for him to hire a Republican. And I said, well, let me ask you a question. How does Clinton explain Gergen? Gergen, Republican. Clinton hired him to do speeches, So I remember Rick looking at me and he says, yeah, I guess, he says, I guess you got me there, and then I, so I looked at my watch. I said, listen, I got a flight back to Atlanta. He says, no, forget about that flight. I said, forget about it. He says, no, you're going over to central office. They're going to offer you the position. So I went to central office and they offered me the position of district director for Washington, DC, Northern Maryland, and Southern Virginia. Okay, the same job that I had here, December of 1996. I came to Jacksonville, Florida.
Is the violent. We saw a great deal of violence during the war between Batista and Castro, and that impacted my life. It's when you're that young and you are on the streets and there are battles, when you get up, hit the ground, when you come up and you listen to the voices of people crying and looking at individuals whose bodies have been destroyed, it impacts your life. But once Castro took over and it became communist, I do remember my dad being incarcerated, and I remember my mom crying, and I remember overnight wondering what was going to happen the next morning.
Jacksonville está como Atlanta hace 20 años. Así como lo ves ahorita, así estaba Atlanta hace 20. Así se va a poner Jacksonville, como Atlanta. Entonces dije, estas dos personas me dijeron, no se conocen entre ellos, y me dijeron lo mismo. Los dos vienen de Atlanta, un colombiano y un mexicano. Entonces le puse atención, y eso luego veo en las noticias, y puedes checarlo, en el 2015, por la revista Forbes, dice que Jacksonville es la ciudad número 1 de mayor crecimiento para los hispanos. Entonces porque yo me preguntaba qué estoy haciendo aquí o por qué vine aquí, y entonces cuando yo veo esa noticia, pues dije, no, yo creo que estoy
I'm the director of the International Business Program in the College of Business. So basically, I manage the relationship of the College of Business with universities around the world. I get the opportunity to create double degree programs. We have double degree programs with Spain, with France, with Germany, especially when you talk about students in this area, that really want to know the world much better, want to have a better idea where they're standing and what is the position, what is the position of Jacksonville with respect to the rest of the world, not just with respect to the US, but with the rest of the world, beyond, to open their minds. I mean,
just looking around, I figured it had to be in Miami. So long story short, there was no Florida State Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. So I founded it. I started it 21 years ago, to be exact. And that's kind of the interest of which obviously goes down in history, that the Florida State Hispanic Chamber of Commerce was founded in Jacksonville, Florida.
Te esperaré hasta mi día, te esperaré todo mi día. Te esperaré hasta mi día, te esperaré.